Hello, welcome to 10 Tips, 10 Minutes, Lifetime of Rewards. My name's Sid Ragona and I'm going to present 10 negotiation techniques. So without further ado, let's get started. Thank you. Let's start with tip number 1. Tip number 1 is before you negotiate, have a persuasive argument. The better the persuasive argument, the less there is to negotiate afterwards. Make sure the persuasive argument is actually a statement of benefits for the other person. Tip number 2. Know what you want and know what you need. Knowing what you want is what you're asking for. Knowing what you need is what you'll accept. Anything below what you need is the basis for walking away. Tip number 3. Try to determine the other person's needs. They will tell you what you want. Your job is to find out what they need. Their needs may have constraints. There may be budgetary needs, there may be emotional needs, there may be time constraint needs. It is your job as a negotiator to be able to dig down to find out what are their needs. This is somewhat lower than what are their wants. Tip number 4. Their needs need to be somewhere between your wants and your needs. In fact, it's very important to determine their needs because this is the lowest offer they will accept. There is no point in offering less than that because it won't be accepted. Tip number 5. Be gracious and always remember the other person has feelings and has a memory too. It's quite okay to actually give a little to satisfy the emotional need that they benefited as well. And also try to present the offer that you're making as a benefit to them. They need to feel good about what you're offering. Tip number 6. Always have a plan B. Plan B is what you do when things don't work out. Sometimes this is known as the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And if plan B doesn't work, always remember the alphabet has 26 letters. There's always something else you can do. Tip number 7. Try to dig down and discover the person's actual needs. This can actually take the form of speculative questions, such as, if I had the power to offer this, would this be acceptable? If this wouldn't be acceptable, why not? There's a number of different questions that one can use that are hypothetical questions. They're not really an offer, but they do start to uncover the other person's needs. This is a very effective process in negotiation, and it's one that should always be used to get more information. Tip number 8. Make your concessions worth something. Nobody likes to ask for something, say, could I have a 10% discount? And the other person just says, sure, yeah, no problem. It doesn't feel as though you got the discount. It feels as though the price was already 10% too high. Any concessions should not be given freely. Something should always be asked for in return, even if it's small, such as, can you make an early payment? Will you accept later delivery? Will you actually sign the paperwork today if we agree to that price? Always ask for something in return if you give a concession. Tip number 9. Never become emotional. Stay focused on the purpose of the meeting. If for some reason the situation becomes a little volatile or aggressive or insulting, simply thank the other person or the other party for the time, bring the meeting to an end, and remember, when you're walking away, you always have plan B. Tip number 10. It goes without saying, this was 10 tips, 10 minutes. There's a world of information out there, and negotiation is actually a skill for life. Use it in everyday life, not just business. So read as much as you can, learn as much as you can, attend workshops. Thank you.